Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Outside Elland Road show. I'm your host, Adam Gardner, and as ever, I'm joined by Matty Foster, and we also have the pleasure of being joined by Darragh Cunningham from Leeds That. Matty,
Hello
Darragh,
there.
how are you doing, boys?
Yeah, hey guys, how are you?
Brilliant.
Yes,
it's been a great week for Leeds United fans. So great chance to get together with you two and have a good old chinwag about positive stuff for a change.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Yeah.
We've done plenty of Leeds now. Well, I've not looked forward to them particularly. And this one I'm really looking forward to because the football's been quite scintillating, actually. 3 massive games and come out the other side of it really well. Matty, let's get on with it then. So last time we recorded was Monday evening. We just played Man City on the Saturday. Since then, Chelsea win, Liverpool draw. Completely different outlook on Leeds United from the week before. We're playing aggressive, quick, dynamic, front foot football. What's happened? What's changed?
Farke's changed. Obviously coming out of the City game, mate, we all hoped and we're sort of praying that he would use that second half as a sort of fuel and a bit of a blueprint to take forward. We always knew Chelsea and Liverpool, and City, it's a tough run of games. You look at those fixtures beginning of the season, you look at that, we're not going to get much that week. As he gets closer to time, you start getting a bit more confident. But 2-0 down at City at half-time, mate, and I think we're all feeling worst. I think Farke probably is. He gambles, he changes, and we see great results in that second half. And then to take that and start with that sort of formation and that sort of style, outside the base formation, just to start with that aggressive sort of play and get in the faces and don't give them time on the ball. And I think it really plays to our strengths. I think the personnel we've got, it suits that sort of style of play, regardless of formation. And yeah, we're brilliant, mate, to see him take that into Chelsea because we weren't sure how we'd sort of go with that. And it worked to treat the Chelsea. Then takes the same formation at Liverpool, shows again in game, which is something we've not said a lot, that he can change it again away from something that we thought would work, and it wasn't working against Liverpool. Changed it up again, 2 or 3 different formations used in that, and he comes out of it again. So over the course of the week, he's shown it. Aside to him, we haven't seen, I don't think, any time at Leeds, any time at Norwich, where his in-game management has been a huge, question mark. Can he do it? Can he adapt? And he's done it. He's come out smelling roses, and he's got a little bit of credit back from where I was after Forest. I wanted him gone. I think he should have probably gone after Forest. And do you think he can turn it round? I didn't. But so far, so good. Now he's just got to continue it, mate. It's been a great week. No denying
absolutely. It is like having a new manager, isn't it? Like a lot of people calling for a new manager, but it feels like we've got one, Darragh, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's like having a new manager who already knows the club. He's an inside man. But he's a completely changed man this week. I mean, since half-time in the City game, it's like he's completely stepped up. I've been criticising him over a period of time, saying that we weren't necessarily losing games on the player front. We were losing games because managers were figuring out what we were doing, and then they were adapting to their style. And of course, we don't react until the 70th minute. So the managers knew they had at least 70 minutes, in the second half in particular, 25 minutes where they could do whatever they wanted, and we wouldn't be able to do anything, or we'd be like sub paralysis to do absolutely anything against it. But he's completely stepped up, and now he is showing that he is out managing some of the top managers in the league, probably going against his base instincts to be more cautious and to wait. And it's great to see. It's everything that the fans have been calling for. And it's funny, I was just telling you guys before, I was watching your show after the Villa game. And Adam, like you made some great points. You were calling out, the fact that he's not proactive. He's 70-minute subs. It's predictable. And you actually also mentioned that you should go for 3 at the back. So you were kind of spot on. But the interesting one is, I had someone kind of say to me the other day that Farke has proven he's all wrong. And I said, no, actually, what Farke has done is proved us all right. Because anyone who was calling for Farke out was saying, I want Farke out because he's too predictable. He won't change system. His in-game management is poor. His subs are poor. And that's why he needs to go, because all those things would make a significant impact to Leeds' results.
Yep.
And then, lo and behold, the only part we were wrong is in thinking that he was the man who wouldn't do it. But now that he's doing all those things, he's actually proving all the doubters right, because everything that they asked of him to do, he's done, and results have improved. So actually, he's proven us all right. But who's the ultimate recipient of that? It's Daniel Farke. At the end of the day, he gets to keep his job. He's doing really well. Hopefully, he continues this. Hopefully, he can stay out of his own way, because I'd imagine there's a bit of Farke-ism in him that he wants to now coach us into being more possession-based again and everything else. I'm like, please, Daniel, please stay out of your own way. You've got a good thing going here. Just let it ride.
Absolutely.
Such a good point, Darragh. Such a good point.
That's my theory. Goes back to what he knows. I think we've seen base formation change is one thing, but it's actually a complete diversion from all of his principles we've seen for 2 and a bit years now at Leeds United, and that's what's the interesting part for me. Slow build, playing through fullbacks, overloads wide. Everything is completely different. Everything, like the principles are gone completely. Matty, where do you think that stems from? Why have these changes come about?
Honestly, I think it's just at City it would a roll of the dice. I think his back's been against the wall. He's sort of known he were close to maybe losing his job, and he sort of just took a gamble on it. I mean, we did recruit a certain type of player, and I think early in the season the recruitment and the playing style sort of meshed. He then went away from that, going back maybe a month or two, he went away from that and it became passing out from the back, possession-based football, slow. The opposition a lot of the time letting us have the ball. And a lot of time we don't really know how to create in that sort of way. So I think it's just a case of, like I say, it won't last roll of the dice, because 2-0 down against City, lads, if that ends 5 or 6, it probably goes after that. But then again, who knows? I mean, the way, he's still in a job now, and every time I think he's getting closer to losing his job, he sort of appears to be further away from losing his job. Everything we hear, or we think we sort of know how the club handle business, and I think he's probably feet are well under that table regardless, to be honest. But I just think it needed a change. It needed freshening up. I think the three at the back, it works massively. Having Biol in there as a bit of a sweeper, you can see Pascal Struijk and Rodon are a lot more confident there. And having the two up top, I think it works a treat. I think what I'm interested to see, lads, before we sort of dive into the game specifically, is how we going forward now, because second half against City, we saw what they had to do with Donnarumma and trying to get a message onto the pitch through dirty tactics or whatever, because they just didn't expect it. We then Chelsea are probably second guessing all, in those only a few days before we play them after City's been midweek, thinking, are they really going to play 3-5-2 from start? So we probably caught them off a little bit. Liverpool were probably wise to it and thought we were going to play that way, and they sort of combated it. We didn't look great until we mixed it up again. Really interested to see how we go further forward now. We got Brentford away. A game where on paper you look at it and think, oh, Brentford, we can get something here, but it's in London. We don't do too well in London. They're a really well coached side as well. What formation or what style of play we're gonna play? Because people will be wise to it now. They'll be looking at Leeds' last couple of games and they'll be able to train and focus on how they think we may play. So I'm intrigued to see now that shock factor's not there, how we sort of fare, in the coming weeks, lads.
Yeah, I think going back one, to Darragh's point, and people thinking that the Farke outers, like they've been burnt or we got it wrong. Ultimately, it wasn't about taking away Farke's weight or his cake or his couch in Leeds. What we wanted was a change of manager in terms of just having someone in the dugout that picks the best team that he can, influences game during game with subs and tactical inputs and changes, and that's what we've got through Farke all of a sudden. And that's what I can't work out. So we've got to change of manager, but in Farke. Great. If Farke carries that on, like you say, he's a man on the inside. He's a man who knows the club already. If he can carry this on, fantastic. But the negative or the point going forward is if he does go backwards, if he does change it, if he does go back to trend and his principles, and that's where we can be concerned going forward. But right now, because that was a very small sample size, well, wasn't it? It was 2.5 games what we've seen so far, and it's worked really, really well. I
feel lads, like it was sort of hamstringing himself in terms of it. Like anything, you could get a brand new phone and not be tech savvy and only ever use 10% of its capabilities. I feel like at Leeds it was so much more capabilities of that squad in terms of personnel, formation, styles of play, that those players can play, and subs late, some players not seeing the field, and that's over the 2.5 years he's been there. There's been a lot of unused subs. I just don't think he's got the most out of the side at times since he's been there, and I feel like all of a sudden he's sort of, what's that film called with Bradley Cooper when he takes that pill and it opens up his what's it called? Limitless. I feel like he's taking a pill this week, and all of a sudden it's opened his imagination to all these other ways that he just wouldn't have used otherwise. But you know what it is now, lads? I'm excited. I didn't need a new manager, but I needed change. As a fan, I needed change. I thought he'd be the manager, like you said, Darragh, because I didn't think he could change. But we've had change this week, and it comes in the disguise of Daniel Farke, and we're all happy as laddie because of it.
Of course we are. We've gone from a team, the way he set up against Arsenal away, his coaching staff sat down with him on a Friday and go, right, this is our, or Thursday, whatever it may have been. This is our plan. This is how it's up. Perot's up time by himself, and what we're going to do is pass it around the back. Is that what we're going to do? Yeah, yeah. And then we're going to kick it long occasionally, then it'll come back straight away. That was the game plan they came up with. It was inept. It was almost incompetent, verging on a sackable offence in itself, because you were always going to lose that game 3-4-5s. And now we're seeing a manager that is adaptable, that's making changes during game, and has shown, I keep saying the word principles, but completely different principles during the game as well. And I think that's really important with Farke and going forward for Leeds United.
Let me jump in there. So, Matt, you mentioned there that you didn't see this coming from Farke as a manager. You are 100% right not to see that. Farke is not a new manager. We've seen him for years at Norwich. We've seen him at Mönchengladbach, and we've had him for 2.5 seasons at Leeds. And at no point in his entire career have we seen him be this adaptable, this aggressive, this different style of principled football. He's had his style of play for 10 years now that I've been watching Farke teams.
Absolutely.
And we're used to that. And that has completely changed this week. So there was no evidence to suggest that he was capable of doing what he's currently doing. I don't know where it's come from, but I would imagine that at some point he was toying with the idea of the three at the back against City, starting with that against City. And when it didn't work in the first half and we were 2-0 down, he went, right, F this, let's just give it a go. And he gave it a go and it worked. And I'd imagine that also goes back to Unai Emery at Villa game, taking stock of how the game was going, making substitutions at half-time and changing the game. I think he's been looking at other managers as well. Hopefully he's been looking at the other managers and how they're utilising tactics, players, change of formation, change of style to influence games and get the better of him. And he said, you know what, I'm going to try that. And he did it, and it's worked an absolute treat. And the bravest one I thought was Liverpool, because obviously he gets pillared for being wedged to the 4-3-3, and he switches to 3-5-2, and everyone's praising him for it. And he's two up top, and it's causing mayhem, and it's just not quite working against Liverpool. They're the champions, so it's champions against champions, albeit at different levels. Yeah, but he's brave enough to bring on Brendan Aronson and Willy Gnonto and Tanaka. And there was a clear change in style as well, because I was getting a little annoyed at the lack of tempo and the passing around. There was a few times where Stack took up a couple of good positions and Anthony could have passed the ball. No, went back to Rodon. Someone else could have passed the ball forward. No, went back to Strauch or Bial or whatever. I'm like, come on, lads, you've got to get it forward. And the first thing Tanaka did was make a series of 3 or 4 passes forward. Just get it forward. And then Willy Gnonto was screaming for the ball. He just wanted on the ball all the time. Aronson was popping up all over the place. And suddenly we were causing mayhem. And, that's all down to Daniel Farke, because if that hadn't worked, it would have been, Farke's gone back to type. He's back to his favourite 4-3-3. And he's, it was a blip with the 3-5-2. So fair play to him for having the guts to take the bull by the horns in that one. And he's got his rewards, and so have all of us.
Even the way we played that, though, when he made those substitutions, and I think it was a bit more of 4-2-3-1. Tanaka was suddenly in 10, which he didn't utilise at all last season. That's completely new. Aaron's on the right, but he was drifting right across the front line in attacking midfield. He linked up with, even for the goal, he linked up right on the left side. All season he hasn't done that. He hasn't got that far over. Everything was completely different, as you say. And we started playing more tempo, which we lacked all game. Regardless of formation, we lacked the tempo. As you say, the bravery of going back to the old formation, but actually, again, the tempo and the way we played direct was completely different.
I mean, when you look at the subs, they were always going to bring tempo for me, those subs. You bring the 3 of them on, they're always going to be sort of busy, and all 3 of them were involved in the goals. Gnonto wins a penalty, Aronson sets up Stack, and obviously Tanaka gets the equaliser, which felt like a winner at that time. But yeah, I think that's the benefit of maybe starting in a 3-5-2. You're going to have those sort of pacey, tricky players on the bench. When Dan James is fit, you're potentially going to have a Dan James, maybe an Okafor on the bench. It'll be hard to keep maybe squad harmony. But I said to you before we come on, Adam, you're seeing a lot of players who were out of favour, Darragh. Your Bornals, your James Justins, your Gruevs, your Piros, who probably now maybe fit this system a little bit more to maybe get a bit of game time, maybe off the bench, don't get me wrong. but you're probably going to see a little bit more of them. But then it may not favour people like Dan James, maybe your Nonto, your Okafor as starters, because you're probably going to lose playing the wingers. But again, as a base formation, I would like to see the 3-5-2 because I think we've got more up top and I think we've got more in defence. But ultimately, the 4-3-3 does work as well in certain games. It's about, I want to see him now going forward, lads. Horses for courses, different systems, different formations for the opposition we're facing. Because away from home, that's still my, it's a small sample size. It's literally 7 days we're talking about what it feels like it's changed the world, but it's only 7 days. Yeah, it's 2.5 games, but only 3 days. Can we change that away form? Because we know we're playing well at Elland Road regardless of formation. That hasn't really been in question this season. But the calibre of teams we've just put them performances and got the points in, that sort of raises expectations again. But now away from home, can we won one game, lost 6, lost 7, we haven't drawn anywhere from home. Can we turn them tight? Losses by odd goal into draws, because ultimately, as good as our home form is, we're going to have to string a few more away performances together, and we've got 3 of us next 4, Darragh, are away from home. So it's got to start now, really, and continue what we've built this week.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I absolutely, totally agree with you. I think we have to be adaptable, and I think he's going to do it. I just have a feeling there's just a switch flipped, and he's just going to ride this through, because that going back to the 4-3-3 against Liverpool was such a brave call that I think it's indicative of a mindset now of someone who knows that he has to be proactive. I think there'll also be renewed confidence in the players and from the players. And the other one we have to talk about is the chaos that's being caused up front by 2 up front.
I love it.
It's like a throwback to Chapman and Wallace. It's so good. And Mecha is just played out of his skin. So hopefully he comes back from injury soon. Like I'm shocked at how good he is. But maybe that 2 up front brings a lot out of people. But it's absolute carnage up front for 2 teams, for the other teams. You really would not want to play against Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Lucas Mecha. And what it ends up giving us, particularly the 3 at the back, is 3 solid centre-backs, 3 solid centre midfielders, and 2 battering rams up front. So you're solid all through that spine, which is what we recruited for. I don't think recruitment was particularly excellent. Would like to see a few other players. I mean, let's face it. Imagine if we'd gone out and got a Harry Wilson or an Embry Buendia, the season those 2 are having, and that quality to your team. You'd see a few away wins then, I'm sure. But regardless of the failures in recruitment, I think there's enough there. If you add it with good management, good attitude, good principles of play, and you can keep them fit, then we've got every chance of getting a few more results in away games.
I think that's it, though, isn't it? Like we discussed last week about Farke, or is it the players? And if you think it's the players, then you've got nowhere to go, because you're not going to get 11, 10, 12, 15 new players in January. So you need your manager to get the most out of the players you've got and play a system that works best for them. You're saying the Matty and DCL as a front 2. I feel like playing a front 2 is a bit of an equaliser, because regardless how good a team is, you just play 2 good players in the air, aggressive. It's a bit of, you can just go direct and you can get up the pitch. And I think we missed the Metro against Liverpool, but I think there's a start of a really good partnership there.
Yeah, I agree, mate. I don't know why people have complicated football over years. All of a sudden put 2 up top and go a bit more direct, and it's sticking for us, isn't it? And people used to say Route 1 were quite boring. I'm enjoying watching us play at the minute. It don't feel boring, like you say. I think Darragh hit nail on head, chaotic, and I love that. We love that under Bielsa. This is a different style of chaos, but I do love that the opposition not being quite sure how they're going to fare. The fact that all the players are, blood and thunder. They're into everything. I quite like the sort of the way they've toed the line. We've got a few players on bookings as well, and we've been able to keep that sort of, they've shown that maturity and that trust on bookings like Ampadu to still not lose that edge in middle of park. But yeah, going in that top 2, mate, I think they've got everything you want, financially for the club. They didn't cost much money. The wages maybe high to, accommodate that, but there were free transfers, but they both got international pedigree. DCL, we all know how good DCL is. An argument that is one of the best strikers outside that top 10, really, at Premier League level. We're lucky to have him, really, in my opinion. I like the signing. Played for England. You've got Mecha, who's played for Germany. Muggs, you're not a poor player if you play for Germany either. So we knew he had credentials. Showed a lot of it at City in his younger days. Didn't quite hit the heights in Germany, but he's coming with a point to prove. I sort of expected him to score against City. We've been playing there, and obviously he's on a great run. 3 goals in last 3 games I think he's played. Both players on 4 goals apiece. Long way that continue. We've got one who can bring ball out of air. you know, what it is as well. Even when he doesn't win the ball in the air, again, Darragh, he causes chaos. They know he's there. The defenders know they're in the game. And then you've got someone like Metchard who's always on shoulder. He can run in behind. He can run channels. He can also hold the ball up. They're just physical athletes, big specimen, you know, sort of men. And like I say, you change that for a Pido up top on his own away at Arsenal earlier in season, and it's chalk and cheese. It's night and day. Like the difference in having Pido up top on his own to having Metchard and DC, it's like a totally different side. And I think long may it continue. Touch wood, they remain fit, because if they remain fit, I think they'll get enough to get us over the line, mate.
Yeah, absolutely. Darragh, strikers working better. Bijol suddenly starting games football looking good. For wing backs, what players do you think are benefiting most from the system change beyond the strikers?
Well, I think it's very clear that Stack has stepped up massively in this new formation. Maybe it suits him a little bit better. I'm sure whatever the tweak is from being a 3 in midfield with 3 in front of you as opposed to 2 in front is probably something very technical that I wouldn't be aware of. But I mean, Stack was in for a bit of criticism before the change of formation, and rightfully so. Yeah, his performances had dropped off. But the point I was making about Stack is, you know, he was 17 million quid. He's going to have ups and downs, particularly in his first season. Yeah. If you want someone who's going to play brilliant football every week, go. It's going to cost you a lot more than 17 million. It's going to be Man City 60, 70 million quid central midfielder. So we got to bear that in mind. Tanaka's obviously been absolutely
unbelievable.
Like, what a week he's had. His primary school teacher coming over to see him on Wednesday night. And he scores that. And then he pops up in the back post, obviously, against Liverpool, which was a goal made on the training ground, by the way, because I was at Bristol, last home game of the season last year. Great, one of the best atmospheres I've ever been in. And he nearly scored that goal twice. The first one was a header he hit off the post, and the second one was a tap in at the back post.
Yeah.
And there was another one this season where he was left completely unmarked at the back post, and the ball just didn't fall to him, maybe an inch behind him or something, and couldn't quite reach it. So that is something that has clearly been made on the training ground, and he benefited. What a way to benefit of it in front of the cop, 96 minute against Liverpool.
It's a really smart finish as well, isn't it, Darragh? The way he actually hits it into ground on his weaker foot. It's a really smart finish, that in a high pressure moment. Really good.
Yeah, and even the trajectory of it, like it went exactly where he wanted it to go, because that was the gap. If you look at it from behind the goal, that's where the gap was. But I mean, they're the players who are starting and getting the benefit now. But there's players in the squad who will see a benefit from this. So like Burnow has finally made his debut, and he's played twice. And in fact, he was instrumental in that goal, because if you watch the run he makes to that front post, and the way he pushes off his first defender, the guy panics, he sprints with him, someone else then sprints with him, and it takes 2, if not 3 players to the front post, which obviously leaves Tanaka more free at the back. But that formation will suit players like Nonto, who can also play in a front 2, as he has done with Italy. I think it'll bring in, I can't wait to see Sean Longstaff in there as well. I love Sean Longstaff. I can't wait to see him get his opportunity in there. But even the likes of Jack Harrison as a wing back.
Oof.
You know, it's got potential.
Steady on.
I'm a Harrison fan, I'll be honest. I'm a Harrison fan.
Football?
Yeah, I like Jack Harrison. Yeah, I don't think he's that bad. I think he's a little workhorse. I think he'll do okay.
Yeah.
And that quiz you guys did against Villa, I think he scored 6. I think he was a third top scorer that season.
We're not always right with that quiz, mate.
Just quickly, anyone? So we do a show late on Leeds every Friday. Myself, Matty, and Boss Nas, and we do a quiz on it. And our problem with the quiz is a lot of the questions we have the incorrect answer. The quiz master has the incorrect answers. So whatever we say may be right or wrong, but actually doesn't come out of the show sometimes. It does add to the show. Yeah, adds to the flavour of the shambles it can be. No, it's a very good show. But yeah, no, Matty, also the centre backs as well. I think Rodon's comfortable in a 2, but they look so comfortable in a 3. The way they cover the fullbacks, Rodon's play, Strout's play left back a lot, and Bijol in the middle. That back 3. And I love the way as well. Sorry, Matt. Throw-ins, we just throw them all 4 corners. They're all in them, and even defend that. Those 3 in the side makes us so solid both ends. And I think we scored 2nd or 3rd most set pieces this season in the Premier League now.
It's crazy, mate. That was something we needed to improve. I mean, I think they complement each other really well. You know, Rodon's got that recovery pace. Is that warrior you want? You know, someone who will bleed for that badge. I love him. He's my favourite player, I think, at minute is Rodon. And then you've got Biol, who looks really tidy there, sweeping up. Really smart player. I think he plays. That's his favourite role. I think in the middle of a three. Then Strauch's that sort of ball player who can progress the ball. And I do quite like how when Goodmanson goes forward and Bogle, who they're always going to bomb up and down in this system, they need to. You know, it's vital they give us that width. When Strauch comes across now, and sometimes he gets caught out, you've got Biol just in behind him. I think it sort of enhances the frailties sometimes that we've got. It sort of closes them gaps a little bit when Strauch goes out and we do get caught in behind. So I think defensively they complement each other really well. It's a really good balance there, and the set pieces going forward, especially, it's something we haven't had for a long time, really. I know we did okay last season with Rothwell's delivery. It improved. We saw Stroud get a couple of goals against Sunderland that game, and we're definitely better. We've gone up a level now. You know, the way we scored our goals, lads, in Championship, it were very much down the wings, cut back, a bit like the goals we're conceding now, cut back, and then it would either a winger or a striker scoring for us. You know, now you've got centre half scoring, you've got all your midfielders are getting on goals now. You've got a couple of strikers who can score. All of a sudden, we've got threats everywhere, and that didn't really happen last season under Farke. It was very much your wingers and your striker, and that was the only place you're going to score from. You know, Tanaka's got to. When did we see his midfielders score? When did we see his centre half score? It's really good now to get a corner, Darragh, and not think just give him a goal kick. That's a great thing as a fan. You know, just thinking we've actually got a chance here because the delivery of Stack early in season were good. Went off at Boyle a little bit. Longstaff took over and he improved it. And I think Stacks took it up another level in the last couple of games. Yeah. And all of a sudden, you get a dead ball specialist who can get it in and around. I mean, that goal for Tanaka, you could see the goalkeeper come out and then he took a step back because he knew it was just in the perfect spot where it was too far for him to come and get, but it got the keeper, you know, sort of in two minds. And if you can put it on the money there where the keeper's not quite sure if he can come and get it, you're nailing it. And with a, you know, don't want to swear, mate, but Big Bastards FC, I'm going to swear this one time. We have the bodies in there now, don't we, for that delivery, if it's on the money, to be in the mix to get on the end of these. And long may it continue, mate. You know, four or five players over 6'2", 6'3" plus, and yeah, it's something you need to do. And Man City, Arsenal, all these flair teams who maybe didn't focus too much on that a few years ago, they've all gone to that type of play now. You know, you can't just get away on flair and quality. And unlocking the door with a nice pass and a nice. You need to be good at set pieces, long throw-ins. It's all part of the game now, and it's those little percentiles that can be difference in winning a championship or getting relegated or staying up in 17. So I'm really thrilled that we've got a few more weapons to us, Arsenal lads.
If you map it out and look at the players we have going up for those set pieces, both defensively and offensively, you've got Biol, Rodon, and Struijk, who would all be a favourite to get the first contact on a ball.
Yes.
But then behind them, you've got Ampadu, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who leaps like a salmon, Mecha. And if you want to throw Stack into that as well when Longstaff is back, like I know he's not great in the air, but he's 6'4". I wouldn't, if I'm a opposition manager, I'm not taking a chance on leaving him alone at 6'4".
Absolutely.
So like that's like 7 players that are really dangerous in the air.
It's a real threat. You talked about the Bornau sub earlier. I thought it was a really good sub from Farke because he could have brought Barham's on the bench. He could have brought Justin on for Bogle because he came on for Bogle, played right back, and I think he came on just for that, for the attacking set pieces to be a threat. Because Bornau's really good at getting the first contact. He did it for years in Germany. So it's actually a really underrated sub from Farke, I think, as well. Made a big difference to the game. Just wanted to go back to Chelsea, Esteval, because there's been a lot of talk about this. And it's come up with several different places. Do you think he should have got sent off for the kick out at Goodmanson?
I do. Yeah, I do. He had his number, didn't he? I mean, he got pocketed, he got sent off, he got subbed off at half time. But yeah, I mean, it was one of them where he'd already run past him. It was just a deliberate swipe at leg, wasn't it, or kick out. So I mean, he just kicked him. I mean, I don't think it hurt him too much, but it's a foul play. It's just.
Imagine the ball was the other side of the pitch, right? And he did exactly the same thing. Because if it's 5 yards from Goodmanson or the other side of the pitch, it doesn't really matter. You've got to be going for the ball, you're not. He wasn't going forward, he kicked the opposition. He just booted him. If the ball's the other side of the pitch, it's a red card. Because the ball was in 5 yards of Goodmanson, it's not a red card.
It makes no sense. It's great, isn't it, lads, to be a newly promoted side who spent 100 million, who's got, you know, bulk of the sides of championships side, even though I think, you know, a lot of these players are Premier League quality, and you've got £billion squads having to rely on dirty tactics, whether it's foul play on the pitch, whether it's the dark arts of the game, trying to gain an advantage. I love it. I absolutely love that these sides are having to revert to this because they can't cope with Leeds United. And yeah, that he lost his head because Goodmanson for 10 million quid had his number all game, and he's a top draw player. His rest of it, yeah, he's a top draw player. I've enjoyed watching him play at times this season for Chelsea. And Goodmanson, little old Goodmanson from Lille, 10 million quid at Leeds United, absolutely pocketed him, and it's great to see it, Darragh. It's great.
It is, but I think you hit the nail on the head there when you mentioned about little old Leeds, because I think the only reason Leeds fans aren't kicking up a fuss about this is because we're used to the Championship, and in the Championship, that's not a sending off.
No, true enough.
If someone does that to Mo Salah, they get sent off.
Yeah,
like 100%. The referee on Saturday would have sent him off if we had done that to a Liverpool player.
Yeah.
I personally don't like to see that as a red card, because I think it was more of a trip, you know. Yeah,
frustration.
But under the letter of law in the Premier League, where fouls are so soft,
yes,
and the game has gone the way it's gone with regards to what they consider to be dangerous play right now, that's 100% dangerous play. He just kicked, as you said, he just kicked them off the ball. It didn't matter if the ball was on the other side of the pitch or in front of him. It was nowhere near a challenge. It was a kick. It was an assault. So yeah, 100%. He should have gone for that. He absolutely should have gone for that. And only for we're Leeds and they're Chelsea. That's the only reason he didn't go.
Yeah. I'm going all over the place here, but I don't really care.
It's the only way to do it. It's been that kind of week.
I'm going off on another one now. Derby away in the FA Cup. What a I mean, I didn't want a top four Premier League team going out. We'll go for it, I think. But yeah, it's a proper.
No, it's not.
Draw, isn't it? No,
it's not. It's a game we should win. It gives the squad players game time and hopefully a bit of confidence with a 4-5-0 battering away at Derby.
Is John Eustace still there?
Yes.
Is it? Oh, no. Don't he have Farke's number in Darragh like every game?
Yeah.
No, you're right.
He does to Farke what Farke does to Maresca.
Hang on, I'm going to now search. You talk between yourselves.
I can't believe it's John Eustace. You actually bang on there, right? He did this every time.
Yeah, 3 times. He's done us 3 times.
1-0 every time as well, wasn't it, Darragh? Literally a 1-0 shithouse.
Yeah, the Birmingham one was the worst.
Shithouse. That's a swear word, Matty.
It is, mate. Coming out a little bit tonight. It's been a week.
It's got too far now.
Yeah. The Irish guys bringing out the cursing in Matty.
I want to bring up a point as well about the goalkeeper. So he made a couple of really good saves, lads. Adam, let you answer this. Let you talk a little bit, mate, because you just divert questions, and I'm your co-host. I've got to step up to the plate sometimes, haven't I, mate? So I want to know your opinion on Perry, mate. So he made a couple of really good saves. Probably the best 2 saves I think he's probably made in the Leeds jersey. Came against Liverpool. But I am very, he's very suspect to me. I'm not too sure how good he is. I think the distribution was so poor against Chelsea. I was studying cop, and every time he pumped that ball past halfway line, we're going out of touch. And yeah, I'm not a massive fan of Perry's. I think when you question whether he's better than Darlow at times this season, which I think we all have, that says a lot. He's probably playing because of the pressure of his price tag, and he needs to come good. How do you feel on Perry? Am I being a little bit harsh? Are you confident he's okay? Because I personally would be looking, having one eye on the market, thinking, is he a good loan we could bring in here? Because I think that could be a problem area come end of the season.
I think I'd start by saying I think Darlow is a decent option. I think Darlow is a really solid Premier League keeper. He makes very few mistakes. He's a 6.5 out of 10, 7 out of 10 every game. I think, and that's kind of what you need down the bottom. Perry is quite a flamboyant keeper, isn't he? Like he likes to be involved. He likes to come off his line. I think he's that. Those sorts of keepers through the years, they're keepers of extremes. So they're going to make good saves, and they're going to make the occasional mistake because they get involved in the game so much. And another keeper, so it usually happens to them, but they make themselves involved. He'll come off his line. I mean, Gary Neville on the Liverpool 3rd goal said he should have stayed on his line, which I didn't agree with at all. I thought that was a ridiculous statement, just stay on your line and give him the whole goal to aim at. The one where Szoboszlai scores, slots in the corner. Yeah. He had no options but to come out there. So ultimately on Perry, I think he'll always be Marmite for people because he's always going to be doing something. And sometimes it'll work and sometimes it won't. But he'll make good saves along the way that Darlow wouldn't. But he'll make the odd mistake Darlow wouldn't. So I quite enjoy it though. I think we're becoming last week we were a team of mayhem. It was great to watch. 30% or 28% possession against Chelsea, win the game of football. I've not enjoyed a game so much with 28% possession for a long, long time. Like a long, long time. Bielsa never played that way. You say Bielsa was mayhem, but he played he played a certain way where we had a lot of the ball still. This is completely different. The massive clubs we're playing against, obviously, don't get me wrong, Leeds is a massive club. I grew up, obviously I'm from London, and I went to a lot of London away games, and the Chelsea atmosphere against Leeds in Stamford Bridge. I went to a lot of Chelsea games. The atmosphere was always brilliant. It's a massive game of football. I mean, you asked me about Perry, I'm talking about Chelsea. But yeah, so I don't know where I'm even going with this now, but yeah, Perry's fine. I'm not really worried. I don't know, Darragh, how you feel about it.
Yeah, I don't know, lads. I don't know. I want to give him the benefit of the doubt, but I find myself having to give him the benefit of the doubt on far too regular a basis.
Yeah, I get that.
Like if we look at the free kick against Villa, I give him the benefit of the doubt. You know, Joe Hart made some good points, and you go, yeah, it was probably just out of reach, and you don't see it very late. But at the same time, no one's mentioned that he actually did split step and then move towards that side of the goal, and then didn't go any further. It's not. The goal against Liverpool, it's actually the second time he's done that, where it's a low cross across the box and he hasn't, he's come for it and not got it.
Yeah.
And again, in isolation, you go, yeah, I can kind of see why he did that. But then when you start putting them together, you go, well, actually, that's 3 or 4 chances that he could have done better on. And until the header from Van Dijk, I don't think he'd done one good save all season.
That's how I felt. Yeah.
You know, I don't think I hadn't seen one save that I thought, wow, that was top class.
There was one, wasn't there? But the player was offside. I can't remember who it was.
Yeah, exactly. He was offside. Exactly. Yeah. And that was really good. It was really good. And even the fact on that one where he jumped forward and knocked it to Rodon, like that was totally intentional. Like he knew exactly what he was doing and pushing it away from the player and straight to Rodon, so Rodon could clear it. So that was actually class. But again, ball was out of play, so it doesn't really count. So I suppose that's where I am. But I'm hoping that he becomes like a Jayden Bogle. You know, we all thought Jayden Bogle was crap.
Yeah,
and then he became player of the season last season. He's you know, top quality player. So I'm hoping the Liverpool game, 2 good saves there. One going against Gakpo in the bottom corner, which again at an important time too. That was at 2-0, and then the Van Dijk header, which was at 3-2, which would again both of the saves kept us in the match. So I'm hoping that sees him turn a corner now and start producing some good performances where I don't have to give him the benefit of the doubt, where he just actually rises to the occasion.
I think that's important. I should add it. I think there's better to come from him, definitely. As you say, you can make peace with mistakes, but I don't want to keep making peace with mistakes. I don't want to keep going, oh, that's okay, because that's about to happen all this. Because also, I don't know how many points he's cost us this season. Probably none, because he's made a mistake in a 3-0 or a 3-1 or whatever it may be. The Aston Villa goal, I thought he was really unlucky. If you free kick from that distance, if you get past the wall and it's on the wall side, hits the target, it's going to go in. And I think what was really unlucky about it was quite central, and it was probably looks like it was just about in reach. If it was another yard away, no one had any problem with it. And that's a bit of a silly thing, counterintuitive or whatever, but I think it looked like it could be reached, but it couldn't still. I think that's the problem. And I think that's a bit unfair. I think Rodon even mistimed his jump or didn't jump properly. And that was the biggest issue for that goal, me. But yeah, I get it. And I think I am being nice. And as soon as he starts costing us points, because it's all results, we're all fans. Yeah. If we lose against Liverpool, well, this whole chat's different. It just is. It feels slightly differently about it. And every performance is great. We go, oh, it's okay, but this, that, and the other. That's just how that's how I work anyway. Even though I try and think a bigger picture, but it's all emotive, isn't it?
I think with Perry lads as well, we're so happy that Melior's not in there. And yeah, Perry's made some mistakes, but they haven't been as high profile or as bad as the errors we had last season. But I think because we signed him for 15, 16 million quid, and he's come from Lyon, and we expected. I expected so much. I remember saying in pre-season, you've got to upgrade every player. And before I'd seen Perry, I said, we had Melior, and then we've gone and got Perry because we had these expectations that Perry were going to be so good. And I feel like because he's fallen short of that, but maybe my expectations have just been too high, because he definitely hasn't made no Melior howlers. Like I say, I wouldn't say he's cost us any points as of yet, and they haven't been no howlers. But I think I'm just expecting a little bit better and a little bit more solid of a keeper for the money we've spent. But then again, is 15, 16 million that much for the top job? You know what I mean? Or is it, like you said about Stack, Darragh, is it you want that, you need to spend 40,
I don't know about that. I think you're okay to actually expect a little bit more, because let's face it, what we expected from a little bit more was just better than the Championship reserve keeper that we had, who was currently our first choice number 1. Like, how hard was it to go out and definitively get a better goalkeeper than your championship.
And we don't know if we have, do we, Darragh? We don't know if we have.
Exactly. At this stage, where we'll be 15 games in, I'm still not 100% sure. I think we have. I think he's got all the potential to be far, far better. But would you ask me to put my house on it? I wouldn't do it. But I'll give you another one, slightly controversial. And I know a player you guys are very enamored with, who's getting away with it for that Liverpool goal.
Oh, here we go.
Now, I'm a big fan of his, and I really like him. And I think for 10 million quid, he's the best left back we've had in a very, very long time.
I love him.
But Fulham away, 50p head. Spurs, slip, goal. Villa, slip, free kick, goal. And now just gave the ball straight to Conor Brannigan, goal. So he's at fault directly for 4 goals, maybe indirectly in the Villa one. And he's just got to tighten up there because, like I said, 10 million quid, you're not going to get a better left back than him. But he does have to tighten those errors.
I agree. I think he seems to have a Bambi moment every single game where his legs sort of don't do what they want him to, what he's supposed to, and he's facing the wrong way or he's slipping over or whatever it may be. But in between those, and he can't keep having those moments in the Premier League. That's a defender cannot keep making a mistake every game or every other game that costs us a goal, which can't. So, and you will get punished. That's the problem with a defender. Last man, you're going to get punished. But the flip side of that, looking at the positives in his ceiling, I think he's a very good player. And I think as left wing back, the energy he brings, and I do love the way he simplifies the game. Just push and run, just sprint, just outrun the fullback and kick it, run and cross it. He's got to work on his crossing as well. It's not actually resulting in anything as of yet, his final ball. But I do like him. And I think he's outperformed Bogle so far this season.
It's mad, isn't it? Because like we said there, Darragh, he's definitely been at fault for 3 or 4. He's had a hand in 3 or 4 goals we've conceded. But I think he performs outside that singular moment where he has a bit of a brain fart and something goes wrong. I think he performs that well within a game that he's probably still, most games, he's getting a 7 or an 8 out of 10. Even if he's, even at Fulham, he's probably still one of his better players in terms of ratings. It's crazy, but I think he performs that well. I mean, at the Chelsea game, I thought he was the best player on the pitch. I would have given him man at match, yet he switches off a back post and Neto gets in again. I mean, Farke's highlighted that left-hand side at pitch for us as a problem area. Some people say it's Okafor not tracking, but Goodmanson has been, like you say, a fault for a few. So he's been my favourite signing. I've enjoyed watching him play. But definitely the question marks that we spoke about with Firpo and his defending, there's still a few question marks for Goodmanson. But I think you are right. I think, for the money, for what we've seen from him so far, it's exciting. But I wanted to throw something to you boys and say, like, we haven't really spoke about the conceding of goals, and that is a massive problem. We haven't kept a clean sheet in 10, 11 games, I think it is now. And we were so solid early on. We've seen this upturn in goal scoring now. All of a sudden we can score now, which we didn't see that a few weeks ago. That was a massive problem. We were conceding, not being able to score. Do you mind conceding goals if we're going to have this kind of football? The 3-3s, the 3-1s. But because for me, we always needed to score 2 or 3 to win a game. A couple of weeks ago, we couldn't win a game because we were conceding 2 goals a game. That's still continuing, but we're happy to score now. What do we need to do, and how do we continue in this forward-thinking system where you're seeing Tanaka and Stack get in the opposition box, which we didn't see a month or so ago, hence the isolation of DCL? How do we still have that, but try and, stop the goals going in our own net? I'd love to know. That's all, Farke.
Well, I think if we're relating it back to the start of the season, yes, we were defending very well, but we also weren't attacking. We had absolutely nothing going forward. We were turgid. We had 11 men behind the ball, and I think we were probably hoping for set pieces. Like our attacking play was awful, even though it was good battling performances.
Yeah.
I think it's also harsh to judge over the last 4 games. I mean, Villa are currently in a title battle at the moment, and if you think of Villa, City, Chelsea, Liverpool, I mean, that's a tough run for any club.
Yes.
So for me, I don't really see a problem at the back. I think the change of system will go a long way to supporting better results in that respect. And I do think if you're going to be a bit more attacking, you have to open yourself up a little bit. That's the risk you have to take. I think one of the criticisms I would have had of Farke is that he needs to be less risk averse. So I can't really have my cake and eat it. I can't say I want you to be less risk averse, but then complain if we concede a couple of goals, because that's the chance you have to take in the Premier League. And also, back on Goodmanson as well, just as an example, you got to give Goodmanson time. He's clearly shown he has immense qualities to be a top left back, and maybe it'll take him a season. to eradicate those little mistakes out of his game.
Yeah.
But it's the same for Stroke, Bio, Rodon, and Jabo. All 5 of them are relatively new to the Premier League. Yeah, of course, some of them have played a few games, but it's not. None of them are stalwart Premier League established players.
No, absolutely.
So I got to give them a chance. So no, I wouldn't be too worried about that.
Also, I think looking at defence in the last 2.5 games. I mean, what have we conceded? We conceded 5. Is it? So Man City. So we're looking 2.5 games in terms of the change to the 3 at the back. Man City, we just didn't get near Foden at the end of the game. Players a bit tired. That can happen. Chelsea, we conceded 1 goal. That was a Bogle mistake, individual error. Liverpool, first 2 goals, both individual errors. And then the third goal, we were pushing forward. We had a lot of forward-thinking players in pitch, and he went straight through the middle of us. Anthony was spinning top in the middle, not getting anyone, and didn't know where to go. But he was just overrunning there as well. He wasn't sure where to be. I think Snaka pushed up and probably pressing the centre-backs again, I think. So, actually, in the last 3 games, not particularly worried, I don't think. I think Liverpool people in the group chat are a little bit worried about the Liverpool game, but Liverpool early on, they had a lot of possession and they thought they were going to hurt us. But actually, the problem with the 3 at the back, of course, you're marking 1 forward sometimes. And then if teams got a lot of attacking midfielders, they're going to play around in front of you a lot. So it's whether they actually bring that, whether they get the long shots in, or whether they can play through your defence. So it doesn't look very good. It doesn't look proactive in terms of defending, but you still got men behind the ball. So I think we were sort of okay in the first half. So there wasn't a great deal of chances for them. So last 2.5 games, I'm not really worried. I know you can make excuses for all goals. Don't get me wrong, a lot of goals.
Of course you can, yeah.
I don't think defensively we looked frail with the 3 at the back. And I think there were some game management errors in the second half against Chelsea, where Strouk was pushing on with the forward onto the halfway line when we're already ahead. We didn't need to do that. Just sit in your shape and make them come onto you and then hit on the break. So I think there's some game management points. But again, it seems like everyone in our club is learning on the job. From the top to the bottom, the manager, this is new to everyone. So, and what we are seeing is massive improvements. So
it's like a new pre-season, lads. It's like a mini pre-season. Now it's like starting again. Come back to drawing board and start again.
Absolutely. Right, let's move on to Brentford. Brentford away Saturday. Brentford, a bit underrated. Brentford have got the 4th best home record in the league. They've won 5 and... Pardon?
First. The top.
I don't think you're right. Are you right?
I am right. I checked it earlier. They've got the home record is number 1. The number 1 mate on the league table of home record.
Hang on a minute. You wait there.
Drum roll.
I think they said on Match of the Day. Right. They're a very different team at home.
Brentford. Yeah. 7 games, 5 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss. Man City top. Second. Villa 3rd. And where are Brentford? Oh, they're 4th.
I don't include those top 3 side though.
Oh, do you not do that? Is that how you work?
No.
Yeah, you always go 4 down, do you?
But what I will say is it leans into a loss. Down south in London, Brentford, the 4th first best home record. But with this renewed optimism, I'm feeling fairly confident going there. We know in terms of personnel and players, not at the level of what we've just played. But I do caveat that and say 2 games at Elland Road against Chelsea and Liverpool, the players, the fans all get behind games like that. No, there's going to be no lack of effort. We're on the come down now in terms of the exciting fixtures, which I know some people may bat off. They should be up for every game. Of course, that should be the baseline. You should be excited to play every game of football in Premier League for Leeds United. But Brentford isn't one that would spike your interest as a player, I don't think. But it's such a tough game, It's got them playing really, really good stuff. The 14th, so they're starting to come down a little bit more, Brentford. But we all hope there'd be in a relegation battle. This is a 6-pointer for me. The stretch. I think if we win, we go a point behind them. I think if we lose, we go maybe 7, 8 points behind them. So I think it's a massive game to try and make sure not too many teams sort of push forward. And a week or so ago, we had a bit of a gap forming. We were 6 points behind Fulham. All of a sudden, now they're dragged back down. We need to try and keep more than just West Ham and Forest for me down there. There needs to be, 3, 4, 5 teams battling out with us because it's a tough gig looking at it thinking we're competing with a Forest or just a West Ham. You don't give him any options, don't give him much room for manoeuvre. So I think it's a massive game. It's one of those 6-pointers for me is Brentford away. But being in London, it is a tougher game than I think a lot of Leeds fans will probably look at on the face of it.
Yeah, no, I agree. Darragh, what do you want from the game? What do you expect from the game?
Yeah, sadly, I actually agree. I think it's potential banana skin, isn't it? Like it's just typical Leeds that we're on a crest of a wave, and we think we've cracked that nut against City, against Chelsea, against Liverpool, and their billion-quid squads, and we go down to Brentford in London in their little Lego stadium with their absolute plonker of a manager who hates Leeds. And we had to listen to him drone on, and it'll mean so much to us to crush them. And they'll make a little 2-1 win against us, and then a meltdown will start, and it'll be Farke out, and everyone's crap, and you know.
Absolutely.
You can just see it, Darragh, right?
I can see it coming. I can absolutely see it coming. So I think anything's a bonus. To be honest, I think any away games, I think anything's a bonus. I'll take them. I'll take them as we go. But let's face it, we don't know what's coming out of this Leeds team. We honestly don't. I think a lot depends on if Mecha starts.
Massively so, yeah.
If he can start, he and DCL complement each other so well. I mean, one leaps with his feet about 8 feet off the ground, and Mecha is incredibly fast. Like it's actually so bizarre. You see him starting a chase with a centre back for a ball, maybe going out to the corner flag.
Yeah, and
he's 5-6 yards behind him, and he finishes 3 or 4 yards ahead of him, and you're like, didn't know he had that sort of pace. Kind of reminds me, dare I say it, a player who I love watching but I hate now, Harry Kewell, where he would just outpace everybody, but it never looked like he was sprinting like Dan James style, like giving it 100%. He just kind of glides across the pitch. So it's quite deceptive. So I think the two of them together, I think a lot depends on it. Any time we have the two of them together, I think we'll have a really good chance against anybody. So I think
I agree. I think you're absolutely right. I think the problem is Okafor played up front last game, and I don't think Okafor isn't good on trying to win first balls, let alone second balls. He doesn't really seem to want to put his body where it might hurt necessarily, whereas the Metro will get involved and battle centre-backs. And I think those two together are massive for us at the moment. I think, I think, and Farke did say, I think before the Liverpool game that the Metro may be back for this one, I think. He may just be out for the one. So, yeah, he's hoping, Matty.
Yeah, I hope so, mate. Like you say, it's it probably does change your mentality when you see that team sheet, doesn't it? If you see Metro and DCL, you'll be more confident we could probably nick some. If you see an Okafor or maybe a Pido starting up top with DCL, it might bring you down a peg or two. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what he does with formation. I don't expect anything other than hunger, desire, passion. But then again, like I say, it's been an easy week for me. A hard week in fixture, but been an easy week for that motivation to be there to go out and perform well in front of home fans. This is like a Lego Stadium. I want to take that with me, Darragh, in the Lego Stadium. I love that. But this is a definite potential banana skin. But you know, Brentford away, Palace at home, Sunderland away, Liverpool away. A nice run of fixtures there, but 3 away games in 4. It's the perfect time now for that away form to change. And I would bite your hand off for a point at Brentford. I'd be thoroughly delighted with a point at Brentford. Then you welcome Palace, who are flying at home at Elland Road again under the lights, and all of a sudden there could be a bit of a run coming, which you need. And it's hard to get 3 or 4 decent results back to back, but you know, we've had 2 there. Brentford and Palace isn't the hardest, it isn't the worst next 2 after that tough run. So yeah, I'm excited, and like you say, Darragh, you don't really know what Leeds to expect, so it leans into that hope, that optimism, that excitement that we didn't have 2 weeks ago. And just thank God we've got a little bit of something to grab hold of now. And not seeing us in that bottom 3 is a massive thing for us as fans. But for the players, that's a proper shot in the arm of confidence, is that to sort of know the changes we've made. We're all in that ethos together. And because all season we've been thinking and saying we think this works, I think players will have thought that too. The fact that now we've seen it work and we've seen a sort of bit of a philosophy we can use going forward, and identity. This last week, something we haven't had all season for me in identity. If we can take that forward now, I think there's a confidence from the players to the fans, maybe to the board now, that we've got a real shot at this. And yeah, I think it's a great little run of fixtures now to sort of carry on that momentum.
It's interesting you both call it a banana skin, because I know you're talking about our form and the teams we just played, but Brentford, you know, 4th in the league for home form, not first. And so, you know, like we're going this in London, we're going down Lego Stadium or not, which is very a Lego Stadium. It does look like it's literally made out of Lego, doesn't it? Like badly, quite badly as well, by a child. Anyway, what's your prediction for the game, Darragh?
Listen, I've never ever said Leeds are going to lose. Even against City, I wouldn't say Leeds are going to lose. So I'm going to go 2-1 Leeds.
Is that what you believe, though?
Yeah, I will come kick off.
Not playing.
Come kick off. I always think we're going to win every kickoff.
Yeah, I mean, Matt would say as well, like after a game loss, you go, oh no, and then the optimism goes, and it just builds up during the week to the next game. But actually, we've gone out of this run of fixtures with real optimism going forward. So yeah, so Matty, what about yourself?
I'm going to go 2-1-2. Yeah, 2-1. I just can't see at the minute. I think we've got a couple of goals in us, and I can't see us keeping a clean sheet. So it's either 2-2 or 2-1. But I'll go with Darragh on that one.
I'm thinking 2-2. I'm thinking 2-2. Do you know, final talking point, but I'm not going to make it a talking point. Just quickly, change of formation. January around the corner. If you're going to buy a couple of positions, players for a couple of positions, what would those positions be?
I don't really know now, mate, because the 10 has been something we've wanted, but I really, really think Tanaka is that guy. And Farke hasn't. Maybe he still doesn't. But yeah, do we need it? Let's be fair. Everyone said a 10 and a right winger. Do we need a right winger now?
No.
I would say not. But then you'll go striker. Darragh's just been waxing lyrical about our 2 strikers. Again, it's all dependent on keeping them fit. That's the biggest gamble we've done in the summer. Players in key positions who have had injury records. Honestly, nobody, because we're bloody brilliant. I don't know, mate. I honestly don't know.
I think you talk about. I think you end up talking about profiles. If you're going to stick with the 2 up front, we don't have the profiles of Nemetra and DCL, which I know they're different in themselves, but they're both proper forwards. We don't have another proper forward for me that can run. I mean, because Perot cannot run in behind. Darragh, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I think for me, it's about depth and competition for places. There's no doubt in my mind that there's players out there who could improve this team and be better than what we have. Yeah, even though everyone's played really well at the moment. So to be honest, I think anywhere across the pitch. I think maybe centre-back is a priority now, because if one of those 3 go down, I'm not sure I trust Bornau to start 6-7 games in a row, and I wouldn't like to see Ampadu drop back there. So, but could you negate that with a central midfield player a la Calvin Phillips, shall I say, who could maybe sit on the bench and play if Ampadu drops back? The other one name I'll mention, and I was going to say as a question, but I put it to you now, Joffrey Gelhardt. I've been following him all season, lads, and he's the best player in the championship. And if you loan a young player to the championship, where he scores, I think it's 11 goals now, and James from the Leeds That podcast was talking to a Hull City fan, and he asked him, he said, Darragh's always gone on about Gelhardt. Every week he updates us on Gelhardt at Hull, and he just goes on about him every week. He said, what's he like? And he says, he's the nearest thing I've seen to Jared Bowen. He said, every time he gets the ball, everyone in the crowd is excited and expects something to happen. And that's a challenge any of your viewers, listeners today, to go out and just type in onto YouTube, Joe Gelhardt goals for this season, and watch them. And he scored 11. Every one of them, he knows exactly what he's doing. The ball comes to him, he's cold as ice, and it's bottom corner, chip to keeper, bottom corner. Like, he's not just slashing at it and hoping it goes in. Every single finish is clinical. And if you can do that in the championship, we've seen that the best players in the championship can often bring that straight into the Premier League and rise again. Eze, Bowen, players like this who are ripping it up. So for me, I'd be calling him back as backup, because the one thing I think everyone would agree on, is that Joffrey Gelhardt in our front 2 might get the best out of him. That he was never that kind of front 1, didn't quite fit in the 10 either, but a second, in a front 2, in form.
Part of me, Darragh, part of me agrees, and other part of me goes, just leave the pocket alone and let him carry on playing football, because he's having a great time. But I agree. I think circumstance at Leeds, the manager maybe not believing in him, not really knowing his position, because the front 2 would be ideal, but we've moved away from that historically. But now, like I say, we've come back to that. I think it would work. But yeah, we'll have to see. But there's another argument that you're selling for decent profit as well. So either way, he's going to have an impact at this club, Darragh, whether it's financially or an impact this season. But great.
Yeah, point. I mean, his contract's got another year off this season, I think, as well. And I think Hull, he's played a lot in the attacking midfield, hasn't he? He's up on the right sometimes, left.
Or in the middle, yeah.
But yeah, ultimately, he's got players around him to work with him. He's not just up there isolated by himself, which you saw when he went on loan to Sunderland.
Yeah, he went up.
He's developed since then massively as well. Yeah. So yeah, I think this. I mean, to be honest, I think if he goes on to score 20, 25 goals in the championship, and wasn't now playing, we bought him in the summer, you'd be, oh, that's great, good deal, get him in, you'd be really happy with that. So there's certainly something there. I've always presumed he'd have this season, score 10, 12, 15 goals, and then be sold in the summer, and there'd be much more said about him for sort of 5-6 million. But I think you're absolutely right, and it's now well worth looking at because he's better than that, isn't he?
How many goals did Pido score as the striker at Leeds United? 17, 18?
16 last season,
16,
including 4 in one game.
And you've got Joffe playing for Hull, and he's on 11 goals now. It's he could double that. He could, it's not to be sniffed at that when you look at what the team's playing. They're playing well at Hull, but they're not Leeds.
The only reason we're kind of turning our nose up on it is because we've washed our hands of him. We've kind of thought, you've had your chance, kid, and you've blown it. But players develop at different level, at different rates.
Absolutely, yeah.
So we would be absolutely mad to just completely wash our hands and say, we don't care how well you're doing. He's only about 23. Like, he's still a kid. So if we could get a 23-year-old who's bang on form, possibly the best player in the championship, for free in January, would you take him? You'd be mad not to.
It's a great point you brought up there. It's a great point, mate.
And also, when he was coming through, he still is such a talented footballer. Like, he looked at different class, and he looked like he was going to kick on to be a really, really, really good footballer. And you say it's not linear. It doesn't just happen overnight. It happens different times to different players. Harry Kane was on loan and he didn't kick on till early 20s. Rather, he wasn't, banging goals at 17 or what, like some of them are. So yeah, absolutely. I think he deserves respect for what he's done, and it's absolutely right. He deserves close eye for everyone to keep an eye on because it's a good player.
Fair play.
Yeah. Right, guys, we are going to leave it there. Everyone, do go and check Darragh out on Leeds That, and do go and check Matty out on Imagine Not Being Leeds. We'd like to thank you for watching. Please do subscribe.
Oh, you mentioned it. Good lad.
Matty's told me up before the show because I don't mention it enough, apparently.
Please subscribe.
Oh, you said it again. There you go. Right, everyone, thanks for watching, and we will see you next week. Good night.
Take care. Good night.
Yeah.